This is the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're inside Jamaica Magazine.
Encouraging the information flow, sharing the news and views you need to know.
We are building an informed Jamaica every day.
Listening to what you say.
Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am your host, Alison Watson. Coming up in today's news package, government pursuing arrangement for delivery of electricity at competitive price. Young people urged to take up the mantle of helping the country increase its productivity. And the country pays its last respects to a music veteran. Later, we'll tell you all about cerebral palsy and a recent initiative to help some Jamaican children overcome the challenges it represents. Stay with us, the news in detail after this short break.
Roxanne, how you look so?
What you expect? You know, I'm pregnant.
Well, the pregnancy not treat you right.
It's not really the pregnancy, you know. But from last night, I have a fever, my throat sore, I just feel awful.
That don't sound right, Roxanne. It sounds to me like you need to go see a doctor immediately, especially with the H1N1 we're around.
When I just want regular flu, that's not nothing.
Regular flu? The flu, you know nothing for joke with, you know. Especially for you who are falling in the high risk category.
High risk category? What that?
Well, the ministry has stressed that pregnant women, persons with chronic illnesses such as asthma, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and even children under 5 years should go to the doctor as soon as them start feel flu.
Why?
Because these persons are more at risk for serious illnesses or even death from the flu.
Death? I'm going to put on my clothes and go to the doctor right now.
You better do that.
For more information about influenza AH1N1, call toll-free 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683 or contact your parish health department. A message from the Ministry of Health, the Jamaica Information Service, the Voice of Jamaica, and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Now the news. Arrangement is being looked at that could see selected sectors in the economy receiving electricity at a price that is more competitive. In making this disclosure, the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Samuda, says electricity cost is at times intimidating to investors and business operators. He says despite the current challenges, the ministry is hopeful that an arrangement to address this can be reached with the Jamaica Public Service Company.
We continue to be hopeful that we will make a breakthrough in terms of having some special arrangement for a sector that is so crucial to the development of the country.
He says that in the long run, the country and the power supplier would benefit in a concrete way.
So it's not just simply saying, well, that's the flat rate and everybody applies that rate, but to look at certain sectors with great promise and hope and apply a rate that will make that sector even more competitive so that we will attract more investors and therefore more Jamaicans will use the service, and by volume alone they will benefit. So that is the kind of approach that we have to adopt.
Minister Samuda says there are very few flexibilities beyond that at this time, especially with the high cost of fossil fuel. Meanwhile, the Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister has reiterated the government's commitment to foster investment, productivity and business competitiveness. This, he says, is essential for creating jobs and increasing exports and foreign exchange earnings. Mr. Samuda was speaking recently during the first of a series of monthly tours to various investment projects and producers across the island. These include investments supported by the Jamaica Promotions Agency, JAMPRO, and that are in the information and communications technology, ICT, hotel construction and manufacturing sectors.
We're going to do everything to make sure that not only do they survive, but that they are able to expand and grow.
Minister Samuda says the potential for expansion is great, particularly in agriculture and agro-industry. In the meantime, investors in the hotel and hospitality sectors have high praises for Jamaica as a destination to do business.
Jamaica is an amazing place to invest. It's a diamond in the rough. People need to come to Jamaica to see what the opportunities are.
And in related news, Minister of State in the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, Andrew Gallimore, says Jamaica's young people must be engaged in the drive to improve productivity. He says the country is not competing effectively and this has to change. The minister was speaking at yesterday's awards ceremony for the Jamaica Productivity Centre's Secondary Schools Productivity Poster Competition. He urged the young people in attendance to take up the mantle, emphasizing that theirs is the future being crafted.
But if we are to enjoy first world status, if we are to enjoy the good life and the Jamaican dream, if we are to lift the standard of living of every citizen of this country, then productivity is the way to do it.
Minister Gallimore says there needs to be a strong paradigm shift in the way that we approach things, and this, he says, must involve a correlation between labour and what the employer has provided.
We have fallen short in embracing technology, in putting in state-of-the-art machinery, and we have turned primarily to low-cost labour, and labour that to a large extent is not well-trained.
He says the country must make the steps to change that if productivity is to improve, thereby fostering development. Jamaica is to host a 14-member trade mission from the United Kingdom next week. The visit is being spearheaded by the Jamaica Trade and Invest JTI European Office, and more than 10 companies will be represented on the week-long mission. The companies represent a number of industries, ranging from food to real estate and manufacturing. Among the entities signed up to be part of the trade mission is D's Caribbean Imports, which imports and distributes a range of Jamaican food products. Head of the company, Alexander Jr. Douglas, says his goal is to meet face-to-face with his suppliers and increase the business he does with Jamaica. The European Regional Manager for the JTI, Lawrence Jones, says the trade mission is very important as part of the JTI's mandate is to generate increased exports from Jamaica and seek to attract more foreign direct investments into the island. Hundreds are expected to attend the 12th staging of the Minard Livestock Show and Beef Festival in Brownstown, St. Anne on Thursday of this week. The annual event, which is staged under the auspices of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries and the Jamaica Livestock Association, the JLA, will be hosted under the theme Livestock, a key component in food security. Organizers say the theme is a continuation of the emphasis on food security and the role that livestock has to play in the country's economic development. The day's activities will include some new attractions, including rabbit and bird displays and an egg competition. There will also be livestock displays and auction, cattle and goat judging competitions, spit roast and calf scramble. The St. Anne branch of the Rural Agricultural Development Authority, RADA, and the Jamaica 4-H Club's Home Economics Department will be using local beef in the production of a variety of tasty dishes. And Best Dressed Foods, as one of the major sponsors, will also be preparing tasty sample dishes. The gates open on the Minard Livestock Show and Beef Festival at 8 in the morning. Adults pay $300, while the entry fee for children is $100. And finally, it was a musical celebration for the life of Sonny Bradshaw at his funeral held at the University of the West Indies Mona Chapel yesterday. A number of persons turned out to pay their last respects to the multi-instrumentalist, band leader, composer, arranger, and generally acknowledged veteran in the music industry. Among those paying tribute was Prime Minister Bruce Golding.
To say goodbye to Sonny Bradshaw is like saying goodbye to a part of history. Young people can be forgiven if they don't fully appreciate the work and legendary contribution to Jamaican music of Sonny Bradshaw.
Sonny Bradshaw died on October 10 in a hospital in London after suffering a stroke. Those were